Hello, welcome to Tim Anderson Horse Training. Before we get started with the video today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the direction I'm planning on going with some of the videos with the channel. I'd like to do a little bit more of telling you the story behind each one of the horses. Every horse has its own story, and I want to get a little bit more involved so you can kind of follow each horse's story along a little bit better. I'll still have some training info all mixed in with it, and the facility itself we started building a little over a year ago, and it's almost has a life of its own as we're doing projects that we want to do around in the barn and the property and stuff. So you'll see the format of my videos will change a little bit, and I'm probably going to struggle a little bit trying to figure out how to make that format work so that it's enjoyable and easy for you to follow. I'll be working to try to figure that out, and I think you're going to enjoy being able to follow along each one of the horses a little bit better. I know lately I put one video out on one horse, and then you might not hear anything more about that horse. So the videos on each individual horse might be a little bit shorter, but I think you'll be able to follow along a little bit better. I have quite a few horses that come and go that never even make it to a video. I've been uploading 2 videos a week on Tuesday and Friday, and the way it's been going, basically I'm talking about one horse on each video, and the way I'm going to go is talk a little bit more about different horses in the same video, but maybe not talk as long about that one horse. And hopefully you'll get a bigger picture view of the ranch and how it operates and the horses coming and going. I still train horses full-time. I have a full log of horses that I work with, so my time is limited with editing the videos. That's the biggest problem that I've had. I'd like for you to be a little bit more involved with the horses at the ranch. They all have their own story. They all have an interesting story, and I'm going to try to arrange my videos in a way that you can be a little bit more involved with that story. So we'll go ahead and get started with today's video. It might be a little bit clunky to watch. Flow might not be great, but I'm going to work and see if I can make it flow a little bit better in the future. And if you're a new subscriber to my channel, thank you for subscribing. And if you're somebody that has been with me for a while, thank you for sticking with me. I hope you enjoy the video today. So we're not really in the calf breeding business, but we did have one calf born this past September, and this is him, and it was time to wean him. So one of the things we did last week is we put him in a pen with a couple of babysitter heifers, and that's him in the back there being weaned. He's not too happy about it, but he'll get over it. One of my favorite things to do every day is to feed the cows. There's one particular gate, when I open that gate, they know it's time and they come running. Another thing that happened this week is the farrier came. This past Saturday I went and judged a horse show, and I always enjoy doing those. They're a lot of fun, getting out and talking to people. I'm not really an outwardly sociable person, and it kind of forces me to get out and talk to people and visit people, and I end up really having a good time. And these are all good people. I enjoy spending time with them. And one of the really nice things about this particular show is that my ring steward is actually the owner of one of the horses that I have in training. If you remember, I did a video a while back of an owner taking a lesson on her horse in training, and this is her ring stewarding for me. So I invited her to come and ring steward for me. I thought that would be a really good experience for her to learn about what I was looking for, what I was looking at, and why I was placing horses a different way, and why the horses got placed the way they got placed. And I think it ended up being a really good experience for her. I think she learned a lot, and I had a good time and enjoyed working with her and seeing all the people at the horse show. And That was always enjoyed doing those. This gorgeous filly came in this week. Her name is Delta Dawn. She's here for cow horse training, and here I put her out in a pen next to the cows, and she's meeting cows for the first time and very interested. You'll be seeing more of her in the future. This is Rocky. This is another horse that you've not seen before. He is a barrel horse that is here in training because he's real heavy on his front end, which is causing problems of him not wanting to stop and really not wanting to steer and bend just like he needs to run barrels. So what I'm doing here is I'm softening up his shoulders and asking his shoulders to elevate and move laterally, and getting some elevation in his shoulders and asking his back end to engage a little bit more. So as I get his shoulders up and his back end engaged, that is going to help the issues that he needs help with. Another thing that I did this week is I went through my first aid cabinet, restocked some items, I got rid of some items that were expired, and kind of straightened it up a little bit. And I thought I'd take a minute and tell you about what I had in my first aid cabinet, and see if there's anything that you can think of that maybe I should have that I don't, or maybe there's something that I have that you might want to have in your first aid cabinet. So here's a little bit about what I have in my first aid cabinet. And then I have some different stuff towards the bottom. So let's start up here at the top and just go over a few of the things that I have. I have butte powder, and then I have a butte paste, and I always want to keep that on hand for if I need to treat any inflammation issues. I have a little bit of an antibiotic here. That's just a piece of a bottle of Uniprum, just for an antibiotic. I also have some sulfamethasone tablets. That's a sulfatab, like an antibiotic. I have liquamycin. That's an antibiotic for cows. And I also have the Surpass. This is an anti-inflammatory. We got that for a specific horse, and he kept what was left. It's been a good anti-inflammatory. And I also have a couple of tubes of UlcerGuard up here. Banamine. Banamine's a muscle relaxer for if I have a horse that's colicking and I need to give him some Banamine. Dextromethasone. It's a steroid anti-inflammatory. Keep that on hand. If the vet tells me to give it, I can give that. I also have some Dex in a tablet, and some injectable wormer. That's for the cows. And then my needles and syringes I have over here on the side. I have some Previcox, and I think that amounts to most of what's on the top shelf. This red bag here is my travel bag, so if we leave to go out of town, I just have to grab this bag. It just has a little bit of everything else in it. So that's our travel first aid kit. And then I have a few topical solutions. This Banex is a really good topical solution for wounds and fungus and stuff like that. Another topical, Fur Shield. We haven't used much of that. And I have saline eye wash. I always want to keep that on hand. If I have a horse that has a goopy eye, I can rinse it out with that eye wash. And a few other topical sprays. There's an itch spray, a fungicide, and I have a bottle of aloe gel. I use that a lot when we have horses that are itchy, whether it works good for soothing like allergy itch. That's really good for that. This Tricare 3-in-1 wound treatment, I like that for little minor cuts that it has a pain reliever in it, so that's really good for that. I keep a couple of bottles of liquid antacid in here. If I have a horse that just doesn't seem quite right, maybe like a nervous horse, a horse that first comes in and just kind of nervous in general, I'll pour a little bit of antacid on top of his food, and that helps to soothe the stomach. And I have a couple of bottles of it in here. I like to carry that with me when I go to shows. If I'm bringing a horse that maybe only the first or second time that he's been to a show, I like to carry that with me, and it helps to soothe their stomach. And I think, especially with young horses that you first start hauling the shows, it's a good preventative to help prevent ulcers from ever starting. And had just some insect repellent, and this is a really good wound treatment right here, just for minor cuts and scrapes. It's a really good wound treatment there. And we have some hoof Venice turpentine for the hoofs. And I think that's most everything we have here. There's some betadine wash back here for if we need to clean a wound. That's good for that. And a couple of other different things that I have. I keep a thing of pickling lime. A lot of the old timers are going to know that's really good for proud flesh on legs. So I keep that on hand to, if I have any leg wounds that looks like it's trying to develop proud flesh, pickling lime is really good for that. I also have some tube for tubing my calves if one of them gets bloat, and then I'm set up to give one of my calves glucose solution if one of them's down and dehydrated. So that's something I keep specifically for the calves. I have a couple of extra bottles of eye wash in here. Red cell, that's good for if I have a horse that is anemic. There's a couple of different reasons they can come in and be anemic, and so I'll give them a little bit of red cell for anemia. MTG, that's really good for girth rub and rein rot, that kind of thing. And then I have a bag of Epsom salt for if I need to soak a horse's foot. If it has an abscess, I can soak it in Epsom salt. And that's most of it. I've got some, this is some milk replacer for calves. And then I have some pour-on warmer for my calves and some concentrated fly spray. That's all cow related. It's not cat related. And this is my banding kit for banding bulls. And that's about it. A few other things like wash spray and some cleaners. I got two people first aid kits right here. I think that's it. If there's anything that you've got in your first aid kit that you don't see here, let me know what it is. It might be something else that I need to keep. And if you see something that I have that you don't have in your first aid kit and you think would be useful, let me know what it is. And I try to be prepared as best as I can for whatever situation that comes up. I do have a couple of vets that respond pretty quick, but sometimes he can give me some instructions on what to do to help get treatment started before he gets here. So that's my first aid cabinet. Tell me about yours. Until next time, thank you for watching.